Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV Wednesday night, and we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. As you know, the season has come to an end. Well, it has come to an end. And then it went on to Sevens Rugby. But for those of you that know Club Rugby, you will know that Club Rugby actually never stops. Many of the clubs still busy with their awards ceremonies or end-of-year functions, some fundraising activity, and yeah, heavens knows what else. But the one thing that we do know that they are doing is pre-season training. The clubs are back on the field and getting ready for 2018. We're days away from 2018, so it's all very exciting. But it is time for us to look back a little bit, and this is, of course, our end-of-year captain's table. I'll introduce you to my panel in a second. But before that, big thanks to Hisense that has come on board with Cape Rugby TV as the official technical partner. Score energy drinks, you all know Score. You can win yourself a case of that a little bit later. And you'll, of course, know that Score is, of course, and you can see the jersey behind me right here. Score is, of course, the partner to the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens that was held at the Goodwood Rugby grounds this year. In fact, we'll show some of the highlights of some of the games from Goodwood a little bit later during the course of the show. And then, of course, Dulux Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road. You've got to get down there if you need your paint supplies. We know many of you are going to be doing some DIY over the holiday, and you want to know how to do it and make sure you get the best deals. Then get down to Dulux Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road, and they've got everything that you need. They've also got branches out in Durban Road in Belleville, and of course in Deep River as well. Look out on our Facebook page for best deals from the Dulux Maitland and in Belleville, and of course in Deep River. We'll put it on Facebook. You can get some really good bargains. And Color Tone, you need to treat those that timber of yours. Well, then Color Tone has got what you need. Color Tone, of course, available in all leading hardware stores. Let me introduce you to my captain's table this evening from Super League C and from Scottsdene, Selwyn Reuters. Hello, Selwyn.
Hi, JP.
Gaan met jou?
Alright, klaar nie.
Ek bly om te sien jy is hierso. Jy sê jy watch die show van die kant af, maar jy het 'n bietjie gehakkel in die laaste paar maande.
Ja, ek kyk JP, dit hou my daar op hoogte, so ek kyk op.
Ja, nee, it's glad to work. Carl Barnes from Goodwood. Nice to have you on the show. Of course, you've been here before.
I have, JP. Yes, nice to be here again. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening.
And of course, Junaid Murat, also no stranger to Cape Rugby TV.
JP, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
You know, you guys, I don't know about you guys, you're all leaders in the field of rugby. We'll put you on TV and you all go quiet like a little. Yes. But let's talk about, let's start off with Vineyards. Junaid, great season for you guys. You ended up top of the log there.
Yeah, it was yeah, it was a long season, but yeah, in the end of the day we had our goal, and it was to win the league and gain promotion, and you know, the players pulled it through.
Why do you say it was tough?
It was our first year, obviously, in Super League C, and
yeah.
We didn't know what to expect. We came up against tough teams. Obviously, they didn't know what to expect playing us as well.
So was it the first time you played Scottsdene and Goodwood and the guys?
Yeah, in league it was the first time. I know we played Goodwood a few years ago in a pre-season friendly, but in the league it was the first time playing Scottsdene, first time playing Goodwood, first time playing Macassar, and I mean we played Macassar in Macassar and it was tough.
Yeah, Macassar's
but
another
you know,
story.
the guys,
Yeah.
the guys we were. I mean, I heard from guys that you know there were top teams that lost there in Macassar the previous year because I think they came down from Super B.
Yeah.
Yes, they came off.
Yeah, so there was teams that lost there, and I mean, obviously, you know, we just did what we needed to do. You know, that was our focus for the year. So.
Selwyn, for on julle kant, ek meen your outfit has been getting stronger and stronger. You've kind of found some stability. About 3 years ago, it was a little bit down in the dumps, but Scottsdene, julle ons het nou 'n bietjie opgeklim, julle derde op die log klaar gemaak. Maar lyk my Alistair en die boys het daarso dinge nou 'n bietjie gestabiliseer.
Ja, JP, ek moet sê dit is die klub se beste wat hy nog gedoen het tot en met tans, en ek voel altyd ons kan nog beter doen en ons kan nog versterk, en Alistair en sy panel doen 'n goeie werk en die players kom party toe, especially as ons moet kyk van onder 20s af. Ons is gewoonlik 30 onder 20s op 'n veld wat ons nie voorheen gehad het nie, en dit gee net vir die klub 'n boost.
Nou, hoekom het julle, ek meen, vertel ons 'n bietjie. Een van die dinge wat ons vanaand gaan doen is we're going to share some stories, find out a little bit. I mean, you guys, the funny thing is when you guys all walked in here, a lot of you guys didn't necessarily know each other. And folks, by the way, not everybody's a captain on the captain's table tonight. Junaid, you're chairperson or manager now? Chairman, yeah. But you used to be the manager.
No, I used to be vice chairman. I used to be a player before that.
Oh, you used to be a player, so you were a player to vice chairperson. Carl, you're captain.
I'm currently the captain. Yes.
You're captain. And Selwyn, ek sien mooi seker waar jy inpas.
Captain, yes.
Captain player.
No, captain?
Captain and coach.
No, not coach.
Just captain.
Just captain plays.
All right. So your next job after this is vice chairman.
No, that's too far. It's not for me now, JP.
Yeah. Oh, but tell us a little bit about that. Vertel ons 'n bietjie, ek meen, jy sê die onder 20s is nou 'n bietjie voller.
Yes.
Daar moet 'n rede daarvoor wees.
JP, om mee te begin, dis mos maar waarmee ons altyd begin by jou klub is onder by jou 120s om net stabiliteit te kry onder en soos mense kan sien aan die aankoms van die spelersveld toe, reën, sonskyn, aand, laat, ons het op 'n tyd die ligte gehad, die manne was daar gewees.
Ek onthou ja.
En ek dink dis een van die redes hoekom ons onder 20 goeie jaar gehad het sowel as hulle league gewen het.
Ja.
Wat net 'n bietjie seer gemaak het en die ander saak is ons kon nie vir hulle die cherry op die koek sit die vir hulle op te vat om vir hulle bietjie iets anders te gaan expose in Super B nie.
Maar waar het jy die onder 20s vandaan gekom? Het hulle van die local skole of waar het julle gerekruut?
Yes, dit is buddies wat mekaar ken en die plek het klomp. Kruimeton het klomp onder 20s en dit is Scoresdienskool, dis binne die High School, dit is jou Scotswell skool. Dit is hoe kommunikeer hulle met mekaar om vir mekaar nader te trek en te sê maar kom speel, okay, kom ek wys vir jou. Sy sal 'n goeie jaar by Scoresdien hê en dan kom speel by ons. So kom ons kry 'n lekker bond, kom ons kry 'n klik, kom ons kry 'n goeie vibe. So nou en dan moet ek selfs 'n woordjie van bemoediging vir hulle gee voor die game en dan net om die gees lekker te kry en dan daar gou die boys.
Maar nou daai is die merk eintlik in my boek. Daai is die merk van 'n klub wat goed doen as jy jou junior. If you Carl, I don't know, you probably agree with me. If you're starting to get constantly someone knocking on the door to say, "Can I come and join your club?" That's a mark of a club that's sort of
that's doing well and quite established. Yes, no, I agree. And that under 20s, it's really the core, and you should really be working like the head coach and the coach of the under 20s should be working together, and then to get that going and to keep the momentum going. You understand? Because then you can use under 20s like later on in the year, in the season. You can use them coming off the bench in the first and so on, just to get that feel also and to expose them to the senior rugby. So I think it's a good thing also that to nurse.
But you guys also, you've had quite a strong recruitment strategy over the years. I mean, you guys do have this. It's like you're probably one of the few clubs that I speak to that uses this word strategy. Over the last few years, you've never had a short-term goal. I mean, you obviously wanted to do one day at a time, but you also had this long-term vision.
Yeah, look, we had a 5-year goal, basically. We're into the 3rd or the 4th year of that 5-year goal, but we've also got I mean, it was called the Vision 2020. So we documented what we want to achieve, and not only on the rugby field, with the first team or with playing, but also with the club and the community as a whole. So I mean, it's still something we're working on.
Was there a reason for that Vision 2020? I mean, I think Western Province Rugby's one of their mottos is Beyond 2020, or Vision 2020.
Well,
or did they take it from you?
it's not related to their vision or motto.
You're your own vision.
We had our own vision.
Mission.
We are our own vision and our own mission.
Yeah.
So it's also, you can't just go and look at it, year by year. You have to have that, that long-term vision, and then the coaches and the players and team managers can focus on the rugby for the year.
Yeah.
But I always feel that your executive needs to look at what's happening in 5 and 10 years time.
And otherwise, you kind of you never know if your day-to-day plans is helping the next day's plans.
Exactly.
But let's work a little bit backwards here. Carl, it was another great opportunity for Goodwood. Obviously, Goodwood's turned out to be the venue of choice for the Sevens. There really aren't too many other venues in Cape Town that work. With that amount of fields, stadium, parking, central. The Sevens though was quite a lot of fun for everybody.
Yeah, it was. A bit of a disappointment towards the end. I wasn't quite sure of the format towards the end, but it was quite good having the guys there again.
Well,
hopefully it will continue.
Let's take a look. We've got a couple of games here from Goodwood, and we'll before we work back into the 15-man rugby, we'll talk about that in a sec. Let's check out the match. Goodwood were up against Morning Star and then also against Young Peoples. This was at the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens that took place at Goodwood. Let's see what happened there. Welcome back, everybody. You're right, and of course we got the folks from Goodwood, Scottsdene, and Vineyards on the show with us. Selwyn Reuters, Junaid Murat, and Carl Barnes. We were just talking a little bit off air. Selwyn, ek kan nie glo dat jy was 3 keer hierdie jaar op die TV, Scottsdene. Hoe is dit moontlik dat ons nooit vir jou geïnterview het nie?
Dat was net die geleentheid met die Derby JP van die Senaat.
Ja, daar was 'n groot game vir julle, né?
Ja, en die promotion en relegation game.
Ja.
Daai 2 keer, ja.
Maar jy het geïnterview?
Ja.
Na die game? Miskien het jou hare gechange of
ja.
Daar was 'n groot derby vir julle, né? Hands and hearts. Ek meen die twee van julle is oor kan die pad amper van mekaar.
Ja, het sal altyd 'n groot derby JP.
Ja.
Altyd.
So jy sê dat is julle grootste derby elke jaar, as julle in dieselfde league is?
Even though ons in dieselfde league, dan sal ons nog altyd teen mekaar speel. Die derby gaan nog altyd voort. Die league moet net kom en dan speel ons vir hom ook.
Ja.
Yes.
So baie spelers wat tussen die twee klubs speel of gehop het of nie eintlik nie?
Dit sal meestal net die backline players wees wat sal skuif. En ek myself het 1 jaar ook geskuif in Senaat toe.
Ja.
Maar dit is net gewoonlik die backline players verder die ander manne sal maar stick to hulle kans en bly maar dan.
Carl, let's go back to you now. The Sevens tournament. Great to have it at Goodwood, but it didn't really go your way, eh?
No, not at all. Especially against young people. Not at all. But it was good fun. We had a bunch of youngsters, as I said that today. We had a bunch of youngsters and we just there to enjoy one another.
But I mean, Sevens rugby is exactly. It's a little bit more. Everybody that I met at Goodwood were once again. They weren't so worried about the result. We wrote about this. We spoke about this. One or two teams worried, but out of the 44 teams and 1,000 odd players, the guys really were there, like to have a bit of fun.
Yeah. No, that was basically it. I think if we can take it a bit more serious and put some more, like a lot more effort into it, then we will do well, and then we will have the expectation. But for now, we are just really enjoying it, and it's keep us fit.
Yeah. Junaid, for you guys, did you use it in any way in terms of pre-season, or was it just giving you guys a bit of a run?
Yeah, look, it was our first year playing, so we gave most of our under-20 players a run.
Yeah.
Obviously, first team guys needed a rest.
But I mean, you took strategy. I mean, it's more about strategy is more than just getting a win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was obviously to give them exposure as well, and it's obviously players that we've identified that would possibly step up into a first team role and that has potential. So I mean they had fun. I mean they really.
Well, what about those side shows things? That's also beyond just the game and the result. I mean, it's about giving the guy just a feeling of playing with the ball, a feeling of hanging around with some of his teammates, what it means to get up in the morning and get on the bus and go through that kind of. You got to kind of blood people into an environment.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, we had a few first team guys playing as well. Yeah. So obviously they need to get to know some of the guys if they don't know them, and just to give them that culture of the club. Obviously we had our managers and our coaches there, and so that they feel part of something, and we did fairly well, so it was good for them.
Did you take them to Jimmy's Prawns?
We always.
Folks, the Club Rugby TV show is of course also about supporting the clubs out there with various sponsors, which is one of the reasons why you see the jerseys, the names on the club's jerseys, and I think Jimmy's Prawns is one of the sponsors to Vineyards. In fact, you guys battled a little bit towards the end of the year with sponsorship. Yeah, but you've probably pulled it together now and got a couple of million in the bank.
No, we wish we had a couple of million in the bank. Look, our strategy was instead of finding one or two big sponsors, like went to 10 local businesses, and you ask them for something smaller. And every little bit helps. Whether the guy's giving you 1,000 rand a month or 5,000 rand a month, it's just it contributes, and then obviously in turn we try and see what we can, what value we can add to the business. So if we can support them, then that also helps.
All right, so we're back to the sevens. Let's take a look now at some of the Vineyards action at the Score Sevens. We'll take a look at some sevens matches before we go to talk about the 15s. It was, of course, a very tough season of 15s for a lot of teams, but looks like Vineyards did all right. We'll talk about them in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Right, so, do you know, your boys there, Vineyards against Vix?
Vix, yeah.
Yeah, we were just saying, Carl, some big guys in that team.
Couple of big guys. couple. And they did well. They did well. The guys.
Ja, quality
Solid guys.
outfit, ja.
Yeah.
Selwyn, het julle gespeel in die sevens?
Ja. Ja, meestal die juniors.
O ja, ek sien hier so julle het vierde gekom in Pool C. Same record as Vineyards. Both of you actually ended up number 4, so you went through to the top 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's not an exam, so you guys you can relax. School holidays is finished now. And then Junaid, you guys as well. You also you just managed to squeeze it through there. Both of you guys actually just made it in that top 16. Was that also part of the strategy?
Look, yeah, no, we wanted to end top 4. I mean, that was so obviously every week we looked at.
You didn't want to go at 5.
Yeah.
You wanted to be in the top 4.
We wanted to be in the top 4. Yeah. No, but every week we looked at who our position is and which games we need to target in order to get into that top 4.
Yeah. So if I look at some of your 7 stats there, I don't know if you guys look at your stats. Do you guys ever look at stats? Like your numbers, or you just play day to day?
Just
play.
The coach probably looks at it. I don't.
Oh, you don't. Yeah, you just need to look at how many players and money. You gotta worry about the field and all that. Yeah. So Vineyards, you guys basically you had a 60% win rate. Scottsdene, exactly the same, 60% win rate. Goodwood, 50% win rate. Sorry, Carl. You guys, you scored 2 tries per game.
Yeah.
And you had 227 points scored against you. Okay, we're going to have to pull up
our
our stocks for next year.
I
I feel like a schoolmaster marking the paper here. So yeah, just go back to these guys here. When you're looking at the guys like Vixen, how was it for you? Selwyn, ons praat met jou miskien. Ek meen daar was 'n paar goeie spanne daarso. Hoe was dit van Scottsdene se standpunt af? Was dit ook oor die gees of?
Ja, hulle het natuurlik uitgegaan om vir hulle te geniet. Hulle was baie excited geweest omdat hulle especially 'n groep van die onder 20 gevat het. Ek dink dit was 1 of 2 first team players wat gespeel het.
Ja.
En die res was net onder 20 en hulle het dit geniet elke dag. Elke Saterdag het dit net uitgegaan oor kry ons die wen, dis die wen daar.
Was hy nie, ons was nog steeds
saam op veld. Probeer, ja, en hulle was altyd happy nog steeds, even though hulle het verloor, nog altyd happy.
Ja. Right, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll start taking a look at some of the 15-man rugby. Scottsdene against Belleville and Vineyards against Scottsdene. A couple of games there. And we'll take a look at some of the stats. We've just been digging into the stats now, so we'll take a look at some of the stats, and it's going to be interesting. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. We're talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, as you know. And we've got the captain's table with us today. Junaid Burat is here from Vineyards, Carl Barnes here from Goodwood, and of course Selwyn Reuters, captain of Scottsdene. A little bit later in the show, I'll give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. Keep your cell phones handy. And then for those of you that have downloaded the Cape Rugby TV mobile app, go and spot the ball. There's a spot the ball competition coming up a little bit later, and you'll put yourself in the mix to win a Hisense smartphone, the H7S Pure Shot phone. That's coming up a little bit later. So you need to go and download the Cape Rugby TV app, either from Apple iTunes or from the Google Play Store. Download the app and give it a go. See if you can spot the ball. We'll be talking more about that a little bit later. Scottsdene and Belleville, of course. Scottsdene ended up number 3 on the log in Super League C. We'll take a look at some of the games there. You can fill us in a little bit on your 15-man rugby and what you guys thought. As I said, you've got a bit more stability now. Let's take a look at some of the highlights for you. Scottsdene and Belleville. Welcome back, folks. Selwyn, as jy so na daai game kyk, daai was 'n groot game vir julle. Dit was 'n promotion relegation game. Kan jy die skoor onthou?
Nee, JP.
Nee, jy wil liewer vergeet. hoe taaf was dit om julle teen 'n Super League B span gespeel daai dag. Maar dit was 'n belangrike game vir julle.
Ja, JP, het was belangrik vir ons geweest. Ons het vir Biawel gekry vroeër in die jaar. Ons speel hulle elke jaar as 'n friendly.
Ja.
En ons het ongelukkig nou met hulle weer te staan gekom vir die promotion relegation. Het het nie ons kant gegaan nie, maar ons het maar op een of ander dag maar die pil swaar gesluk. En wat hulle gedoen het, hulle dek het hulle goed gepas, soos wat ek gesê het, om forwards rugby te speel. Ons het agterna het ons 'n bietjie die bus het geval. Ons was nie goed prepared, sal ek sê, vir die forwards, 10 forwards. Van eerste helfte het ons 'n goeie struktuur gehad wat ons gespeel het en dit het vir ons gewerk. So ons het afgewyk van die plan af en ons second half het ons 'n bietjie swaar gekry.
Waan toe volgende jaar vir julle? As julle nou so daaraan dink, ek meen julle stats as ek gou na julle stats kyk vir Scottsdene, julle derde op die log geëindig. So dit was 'n goeie performance. Ek meen vir Scottsdene is niks om oor te kla nie.
Yes. Het is 'n goeie performance vir ons, maar ek glo altyd ons kan nog beter as JP maar. Verstaan? En ons spelers moet net ons moet nie execution, moet ons aan die go kry. Ons moet dit 'n habit maak en nie relaxed nie. En om 'n dip te kry in 'n game is 'n bietjie moeilik om terug te kom. Van ons onderskat niemand nie.
Want julle het ook as jy kyk na Vineyards, Junaid, I don't know if you guys again, your team was scoring 39 points per game on average. That was your average score per game. And if you look at Scottsdene, it was 34. It's only a 5 points per game difference. The difference between a team who ended number 1 in the log and number 3 in the log is a small margin. Carl, I don't know what you think about that. You look like a bit of a statistician.
just a bit. Yeah, the games were tight in the league. It was touch and go. Like games that you thought you might have had, it just slipped away. Yeah. And the margins were quite tight.
Yeah, so Vineyards on your side, Junaid, I mean, you guys had, according to the numbers, you scored 77 tries in the season, 547 points scored. The flip side, though, is that you had 315 points scored against you, which is an interesting statistic because out of the 3 teams here that are with us tonight, Vineyards, Scottsdene, and Goodwood, there was more more points scored against you than the rest of them had scored against them.
I didn't know that stat, but I'm glad you told me so I can tell the coaches to focus on defense.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I didn't know that. So. But look, like Carl said, it was tough. I mean, if I remember correctly, we had to win our last 5 games to ensure that we end top. Yeah. That's 5 games left, and you need to win all 5.
Yeah.
That was after our loss to, I think, All Saints and Busy Bees. It was just after Ramadan. So it wasn't I mean, there was no runaway or, walkovers or whatever. It was tough. Scottsdene was tough.
So you had 5 games at the end there, and you had to win all 5.
We had to win all 5 to secure. Obviously, I mean, we could have afforded maybe to lose 1, but then it depends on what happens in the other results.
Yeah.
But to have our fate in our own hands, we had to win 5 games. And
you won 5 games. That's an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, so
well
it was tough. It was, I mean, I think the top 6 was still in it with a few games.
Do you think Super League C was the closest? Because I think Super League B was
Super League B was tough.
Super League B was every week everyone was saying forget Super League A, look at Super League B. It was derby all the way through. In fact, we're going to speak to the guys from Super League B next week, folks. It's going to be interesting. Right, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at the match between Vineyards and Scottsdene. We've got them both on the show tonight. Selwyn Reuters from Scottsdene and Junaid Murat from Vineyards, and of course Carl Barnes from Goodwood. It is the captain's table. So when we come back, we've got 2 captains who played against each other on that day. It's going to be great fun. Welcome back, everybody. As I said earlier on, you can win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. That comes up a little bit later, as well as the High Sense competition. We'll tell you about how to spot the ball, all that and more. It is the Cape Rugby TV Captain's Table. It's the end of the year, but we're meeting some of the captains, coaches, and managers as they come onto the Captain's Table. And we're happy to say that tonight we've got Carl Barnes, Junaid Murat, and Selwyn Reuters on the show with us. Do you guys ever get a chance to hang out with each other or meet each other? On the odd occasion, maybe.
On a Saturday.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Only on field. Maybe a bit afterwards, socialize afterwards, but most of the time we need to get back to the clubhouse and have a shower and so on.
Yeah.
So and then our function. So then we don't really get to spend much time, but at times, yeah, it goes
So is it weird
good.
for you guys? Yeah, like
Not really, no.
not.
No.
Look, for us, we out in Paul, so
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the other guys at the other clubs, we would see them even, on weekends during the week. You'd catch them, but obviously these guys are a bit far away from us, so I mean,
You see each other from time to time, maybe.
yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look here at one of your games here. It was Vineyards against Scottsdene. Selwyn, this was, of course, you against Junaid's team. I don't know who, I can't remember who won this game. So, okay, well, let's take a look at the highlights. Tell us a little bit about the players. I mean, looking at your team there, het lijkt mij dat jullie het een paar, jullie het goed gedaan. Ik meen, jullie het nog steeds derde gekomen op die log. Dat is een goede resultaat als je eindelijk kijkt naar. Maar als je nou kijkt naar een paar van die spelers wat uitgestaan hebben voor jou in een jaar, is dat een paar namen wat voor jou uitspringen?
Ja, JP, ik zal zeggen, allemaal het basically uitgestaan als individuals moet vat. Zal ik ook zeggen, hulle gaan ook zeggen, maar dat was een team effort geweest.
Ja.
Ja, so ons het ook begin met 2 onder-20's by die presidentskap. Het ons begin met onder-20's in te bring by die first team groep en so het ons aangegaan tot en met die promotion relegation game.
Ja.
En ek sal sê, wanneer het gekom op einde van die dag met die goeie, met die attitude van nobody said it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be worth it. So hulle het die effort ingesit en
Junaid, if we bring you into the picture, of course you guys then you won the league, but then you also went on to win the President's Cup.
Yeah.
By the time you got to the President's Cup, how important was it still to win the President's Cup after you'd won the league? Or was it just you guys just want to win everything?
No, to be honest with you, to be honest, it was
hulle did wipe.
Clean sweep, yeah.
Yes.
no, it was tough to pick the guys up after winning the league because that was our goal.
Yeah.
So now you've secured promotion and now you're going into a President's Cup and you're like, you see how that first game is going up until we realized, but okay, listen, we in the final. And then we were like, look guys, it's our last game for the year, and obviously then the guys were like, okay, let's just make clean sweep. But that first President's Cup game, like in the first week, it was tough too. I mean, the guys, you got to get them back at the practice field, and you just won the league. It was tough, but you know, when they saw that there's a chance for another trophy, then obviously the guys get excited.
Get another trophy in the cupboard, yeah. Carl, you guys were 6 on the log in Super League C this year. You know, you only had a 25-point difference. Some of the guys had much bigger points difference margins. It means a lot of your games must have been very close.
They were, as I said earlier, JP, there were games that we really thought we had, and then it just slipped away, or something would happen, we would get a red card or something. But not to dwell on, it was also our mistake.
Yeah.
And after being relegated, I think last year, we also had to pick ourselves up again, and we lost a lot of players and so on. Youngsters came in, but the guys did really well. So
obviously you must have. I mean, how difficult was it to come from relegation back up?
in Super League C, it can swallow you, and you can actually just be a visitor and you can go down.
Yeah.
Or you can pick yourself up and then go on. But as I said, there's a 2-year plan, so we now know the field and the youngsters that came in. So now I think it's time to push through.
So you got a 2-year plan, Vinny's got a 5-year plan,
Ja,
someone
die
het
sê
julle 'n plan?
Dink alles het gepraat iets soos 5 jaar.
5 jaar.
Yes.
Okay, Carl, I think you're going to have to change from 2 to 5.
Is that the base?
I'm beginning to pick up a pattern here, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years
Clearly
in one league, probably.
Yeah. What were the standout games for you this year?
Big games, good games. I would say that it's always Scottsdene is a good game, and playing against the guys that we actually really never played was actually it was a good experience. New teams that we don't know, that I don't basically know, like Vineyards and Busy Bees and some of the guys that came up, and they did well.
Talking about Busy Bees, I mean they've had
Also
a great season. I don't know, Selwyn, jy skud jou kop daar so, jy stem saam met my.
Ja, ons moet vir hulle gewen het, JP, want ons moet actually al ons 5 laaste games gewen het om derde te kom eindig. En dit was tussen ons en Busy Bees gewees.
Ja.
So Busy Bees het vir ons gewag, ons moet kom catch up speel met die log points. En toe ons finally vir Busy Bees wen, toe weet ons net Strand United oor. En dit is wat gemaak het dat ons toe alle focus op Busy Bees sit, alles rondom ons uitskakel en net focus op Busy Bees. En ons dan met die knoop toe daar deurgehaak en toe sit net Strand United en totdat ons gesien het ons eindig derde.
Ander spanne wat vir jou uitsteek, Busy Bees, soos ek sê, hulle het in hierdie jaar nogal hulle het, jy weet, sterker en sterker geraak. So amper soos julle nou gedoen het.
Yes.
Busy Bees het nou begin op beter en beter raak. Hulle is nou 'n uitstekende span. Daar's 'n paar van daai spanne in daai kol wat nogal beginne wys dat hulle kan rugby goed speel.
Yes, Langa ook.
Ja.
Langa is een van die spanne, Strand, Liga. En is daar nog, maar die spanne kom in 'n doelveld.
Wie was vir jou die toughste speler teen wie jy gespeel het hierdie jaar?
Speler of club?
Ek kan nou nie van Junaid vra nie. Nee, speler.
Oh,
Want Junaid het nie gespeel nie. Hy mos die chairman. Hy het gespeel 'n paar jaar terug. Ja nee, is dit in julle wanneer jy so teen mekaar speel, is dit in jou kop? Jy's like daar's 'n ou ek het hom nou gemerk.
ek is soos ek is tyd 5.
Ja.
Nou ek sê vir myself, ek moet nou so gou as moontlik, moet ek gou hier orde kry, my stem dik maak en gou net gou wys wie is wie hierso, especially wanneer ons home speel.
Ja.
Ja, dan moet ek gou wys, gou orde kry. Maar op die ander way sal ek nou weer dink, okay right, as jy nou tyd vir show and sign, kom ons druk gou net stempel af so gou as moontlik so. En ek het nie altyd gehad wat ek nou sal sê, iemand wat ek nou kan skrik en sê, maar die oukie, daar is tyd vir daai nie.
Ja, dis die ding, jy moet focus op die game.
Yeah,
Do you think there's time for those kind of side shows are gone in today's rugby? I mean, 10 years ago, it wasn't so much about, it was like, either lose or fight. There's no time for no shenanigans nowadays. Hey, it's like you got to focus on the game. You got to focus on the strategy. You got to know your game plan. You've got to focus on who's going to come off the bench. What time are they going to come off the bench? How much time is left on the clock?
Yeah.
Look, those days are long gone.
Yeah.
And you'll see the clubs that are still doing it, right? You'll see where they are sitting. They, bottom of the logs, or they're getting relegated, or they in the region. Like there's no vision to move forward if your focus is still on the side shows.
I remember, probably like I say 10 years ago, if you were to stand behind the poles 10 years ago at a club rugby game, there was just screaming and shouting. You know, if things weren't going on here, there was a lot of screaming and shouting and flukerij. And today, in the last, I must say in the last, maybe it's because the camera is there, but in the last few years, when you stand, and because we're close by, you can hear everything the guy's talking about. When you stand there, the coaches are all talking about, listen guys, remember what we practiced on Thursday? Dinge sê jy moet so maak en so jy moet so maak. Okay, enige vrae? You know, everything's very organized.
No, there's no time to be screaming and going on about what happened. It happened, they scored, and then come talk about what happened and then let's fix it going forward. There's really no time for anything. You have to focus and need to play. And if a guy is busy being unnecessary and so on in your own team, then he's not playing the game, he's not focused on it.
But look, also we got to give credit to the union for, you know, they've become very strict and you know, they had workshops on discipline and all of that. So we got to give them credit for actually ensuring that, you know, that stuff's actually not happening. It happens once in a while. Depends who's playing who, and you know, there's derby games and who's home ground. But overall, it's from, I know when I played or when I started playing to what it's like now, it's day and night difference.
Yeah, it's completely different. But there's also a respect factor. Ek sê as mens sê wanneer jy is die kaptein, jy weet mos jy kan nie sommer vir 'n ou begin vloek in 'n game nie. Jou eie spelers self vir jou sê man, ek het nie tyd daarvoor nie. Ek gaan maar liewers huis toe as jy so gaan praat. So daar's meer respek nou in die span en die leierskap en die captaincy. Dit maak 'n groot verskil daai, né?
Dat doen ja, JP. Ek voel altyd om 'n speler miskien een kant toe te roep. Dan gaan ek vir hom sê, okay, right. Sy het nou vir ons gekos, ons het nou geskram, is fyn. Ons kan dit doen, dis hoekom ons hier is. Maar doen dit next time, doen dit vir ons dan beter. Dan weet ons hoekom ons moet gaan skram. Of so nie, dan skil sy vir ons nou 7 punte. So, as jou keuse. Verstaan?
Het jy 'n boekie waar jy skryf?
En die tipe speler wat ek is, nee, ek sal altyd my spelers, ek doen soos like in 'n studie van hulle self. Ek probeer vir hom ken buite die veld. Nie net op die veld, in die kleedkamer, in die game. Dit gaan by my meer oor wat ek nog doen na ere. Dus ek weet hoeveel om saam jou te gaan, hoe om vir jou te sê, wat om van jou te vra, wat om van jou te verwag.
Belangrik daai, né, dat jou eie mense
doen.
I mean, if we talk about that then from another perspective, Junaid, you being now the chairperson of a club, you would understand, and I'd like your opinion on it because I have my own version on this, the importance of recruiting players from your community. As opposed to players that are maybe come from somewhere far away. When you have, I mean, Selwyn's talking about if you're as a captain or as a coach, you want to know your player. You need to know your player. You know intimately. You almost want to know, you know, where do they stay around the corner? You quickly go in the car and fetch somebody. You know where it is. But when you're recruiting players from far away and coaches from far away, you lose that connection a bit.
Look, that is why our strategy was, and I mentioned at our awards evening that, because obviously we in Super B now people are like, are you going to recruit? And there's, you know, clubs buying players, and I said, look, we've got enough in the community, and you know, our players, they literally live around the corner from one another. You'll see them playing cricket on a Sunday together. You know, their parents they know who you are. You know where you can go knock and. You know, it's and that's very important to, you know, you don't want to lose the identity of the club. And unfortunately, there are clubs within Western Province that have rich histories that have lost their identity.
Talking about their identity, Vineyards. Why Vineyards? I mean, is it just because of the Cape Winelands?
Oh, why the name? The name,
name.
No, look, the club was, I mean, we were established in '44, and the guys that basically formed the club. The area that they were living in was called the Outain, out in Paarl.
The Outain?
Outain. Okay. So obviously you were surrounded by vineyards.
By vineyards, yeah.
So that's where the name came from. And
Scottsdene? Isn't it Scottsville, Scottsdene? The area?
Dis 'n combine, soos ek dit verstaan, so is dit combine tussen Rangers, Watsonians en North Pine en hulle toe saamgesmeld en gekom op die Scottsdene.
Daar's nogal 'n
It's between Scottsville and Pine Dean, North West Dean, Wallace Dean,
Goodwood is probably
No,
quite
Goodwood is
self-
just in
Yeah,
Goodwood.
the Goodwood is not hard to work out. That's obvious. Daar's net goeie hout. Goodwood goeie hout.
En 'n sterk wind.
Yeah, we're still going to check out the Scotstoun Hands and Hearts game. Right, folks, if you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, then all you need to do is grab your mobile phone and SMS to 33090, the word SCORE, 33090. So it's on the mobile app as well. Congratulations to last week's winner, Anastasia van Rooy. Congratulations, Anastasia. Somebody from Cape Rugby TV will be in touch with you shortly. Just a reminder then, if you haven't downloaded the Cape Rugby TV app, now's the perfect time to do so. You will, of course, be able to SMS us off the app as well, in case you forgot the number, which is 33090. But if you do forget, download the app, look for the SMS button, and then just put in the word SCORE and push send, and it'll come through to us, and you'll be in the mix to win yourself possibly a case of Score energy drinks. The other competition we've got is the Hisense competition, smartphone up for grabs in the next couple of weeks. We'll tell you more about that after the break. A1 or B1? Well, we're going to take a look at that just now. What we're talking about during the break there, folks, is the opportunity to win yourself a Hisense H7S Pure Shot mobile phone. It's a fantastic phone with 16 gigs of memory, and it's got 2 SIM cards in it. A slot for two SIM cards. So you can have one for your one girlfriend and one for your other girlfriend, or maybe one for your girlfriend and one for your boyfriend. You got depending on, maybe you can have one for each boyfriend, depending on who wins this and what they need it for. But it really is a great phone. It's got a 13 megapixel camera in the front and 5 megapixel camera in the back. So really nice phone. Up for grabs. Just download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app and go and play the Spot the Ball competition early in Jan. We will draw our Hisense winner. Let's take a look at the slide. We'll take a look at the picture. There we see A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. This is on the mobile app. Selwyn, wil jy 'n kansie vat?
A1 JP.
Jy gaan vir A1.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look. A1, where's A1? A1, okay, daar is in die linker hoekie. Carl, you want to give it a go?
He took my choice, but I'll go with B1.
Did he go with B1? Okay. B1, that's to the right there. To the left. Junaid, do you want to?
I'll go with B3.
You want to go with B3? All right. Okay. You guys obviously didn't see last week's one, which everybody thought was going to be in the bottom 6. Only 2 people out of a couple of hundred entries got that right. And of course, unfortunately, Alice Michaels. Alice, we're so sorry you didn't win that. Didn't make it. Let's take a look now. Scotstoun, we're up against Hands and Hearts. A typical derby match. And I'm sure Selwyn Reuters, our captain here from Scotstoun, will be able to fill us in a little bit on that game. Alright, there we go. Scott Steen, Hands on Heart. Selwyn, julle ons weggespeeld daai dag, né? Hands on Heart het home ground advantage
Ons het
gehad.
home gespeeld, Rugby.
Maar ooit julle by die huis gespeel.
Yes.
Alright, hoe was daai game vir julle toe? Julle het toe gewen.
Ja, ons het gewen, JP. Ek moet sê, het was nice, het was hard geweest.
Ja.
Daar was 'n goeie groot gees geweest in spectators, in die kleedkamers, goeie nice vibe geweest. Ja.
Is Gerald Brock nog daar by julle?
Gerald Brock as die onderpresident is. Hy is nog
Onderpresident.
daar.
Hy was ook nogal baie instrumental met Scott Steen al die jare en vir baie gehelp by Scott Steen.
Ja, hy doen. Wanneer hy daar is of nie daar is, hy doen. En hy help altyd met spelers ook finansiëel sy bydrae.
Folks, we're going to leave it at that. Selwyn, dankie dat julle vir ons gejoin het hierso.
Reg so, JP.
Sê maar vir Gerald en die boys en vir Alistair en almal ons sê hallo.
Net maar so.
En julle moet julleself gedra oor die vakansie.
Ek kan nie daai vir hulle sê nie, maar hulle weet.
Daai kan jy nie guarantee nie, né?
Ja.
Carl, same to you. Been fantastic. It was great being at the Sevens in your neck of the woods.
It was awesome having you. We look forward to next year.
Yeah.
And also we look forward to having you at the Gurud game in the 15th next year in 2018. So, yeah. Please come visit us.
Well, we like it when the clubs tell us what's going on. Because we don't have,
okay.
So
We'll work on that.
yeah. Send us pictures, send us some posters, social media posts. Share anything you can. We've got that. If you share it, we can air it scenario.
Yes.
Because next year we're not going to run after anybody. So now that we've got, that's the only reason we called you, the three of you, so that you can, you guys can send stories in. Yeah, and Junaid, congratulations! You guys are going to have your work cut out for you next year. You started all over again. You wanted to just survive. Now you've popped up to the top, and you're going to have to make it sure survive again.
Our 5-year plan wasn't to survive in Super League C, it was to win Super League C.
Yeah. So you knew that you were going to go up to Super League B.
No, it's good. I mean, we've got our work cut out for us,
Yeah.
so we know it's a new challenge. Just one thing you mentioned, this
The
Hisense
smartphone.
is the front camera a better quality than the back camera?
Well, it depends on how you hold the camera. If the camera's
Now I'm thinking it's probably a selfie phone.
No,
So it's
the
got a
back-
13 megapixel on the front, which
No,
is
the,
good.
the
Everyone's
back camera, yes, all right. I
people
think
are
you're
taking
trying
more
to catch me out,
selfies.
yes, all right. The back camera has got a 30. For the correction, then the back camera has got
Oh,
a
the
30.
back one,
Yes, the
30.
back one, yeah.
Okay.
But no,
So no selfies
I
on
have
that one.
you might be onto a thing there because I think the mobile phone developers probably one of these days will make sure that the
No,
selfie
the
cam.
selfie is more selfies being taken than anything
Everybody's
else.
doing it more. Yeah. Guys, thanks very much. It's been fantastic having you on the show. Stay safe out there. And yeah.
Sure.
So jokes, thanks. for
Right,
having
folks,
us.
that's a wrap from Cape Rugby TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Next week, coming up, we'll be speaking to the guys from St. George's, from Villages, and of course, Kales River. We've got our captain's table happening. Stay safe out there. Have some fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.